Ladies and gentlemen, the Roman Catholic Church has elected its new leader.
Habemus Papa!
And there's no better way to celebrate than with a new coffee mug. Hello and welcome to the Sonic Boomers. I'm Pete.
And I'm Maureen.
The Sonic Boomers we are, in case you haven't figured that out, talking about everything and anything. And on this show, we are talking about the election of the new Pope and the way that I guess some people expect Catholics to celebrate, and that's with a new coffee mug or a new t-shirt.
Or lots of other things, too.
How do you feel about it?
I have mixed emotions. I'm all for free enterprise. I get it. But it just seems undignified. And the fact that they were able to roll this stuff out within literally hours of the Pope's announcement has me a little bit not happy.
All right, let me pose this to you. Don't they do the same thing with the World Series? Don't they do the same thing with the Super Bowl? The game is over, the credits have rolled, and the first thing that comes on the air after the game is get your merch, get your pennant, get your shirt, get your mug.
But that's not holy. That is not a religious thing. And it's only two teams that they would have to prepare this stuff for. With the Pope being elected, there was various lists.
And the name Robert Prevost was not
on any of the top ones.
Any of the top ones that I saw.
No, me neither. Now, after the fact, there's a few people who said, I thought I had him on my list, but I didn't see it. But
did any of you in your office have like a roster to fill out among the different cardinals and like March Madness?
Yeah, right.
We could have had Church Madness.
Yeah, really. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
The fact that it came out so quickly really bothers me, especially since he was sort of a dark horse candidate. Well, there's 247 possibilities. It could have been any of them, and it could have been none of them.
Well, how could that be?
You don't have to be a cardinal to be the Pope. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah. I mean, it probably will never happen, but there is no...
So I could be Pope?
You could. Yes, you could. Now, I couldn't because I don't like women. You have a better chance of it. You have a better chance of it than I do.
Boy, wouldn't that be something?
I'd like to see that.
You have all these guys. Nobody runs to be Pope.
Right.
So I thought, wouldn't it be funny if like one of the, say the top five that all of the odds makers narrowed it down to. One of the top five, he doesn't get in, right?
Right.
Robert Prevost gets in, and this other cardinal comes out and says, there was fraud. There was fraud in that election. I want a recount. There was gerrymandering going on at the Vatican. There was fraud. I'm really the Pope. I'm glad that didn't happen.
Yeah.
It couldn't happen.
It couldn't.
It could, because you don't run for the Pope.
You don't run for the Pope, and the way the ballots are conducted, it's like there's people that cast a vote, then people that look at the vote, then somebody else looks at the look, and then somebody else counts the count, and there's a lot of fail-safes in there. So I don't think you're going to have too much fraud.
It is a known fact that Pope John Paul I, the 33-day Pope,
right, when
they asked him, do you accept the papacy? He actually did say to them, God forgive you for what you've done. So you got to wonder, what was on his mind?
Yeah, really.
So you can't run to be Pope. You can decline it if you're elected, and you don't have to be a priest or a cardinal or anything. Joe Blow off the street theoretically can be elected Pope. So there are people that want to celebrate the election of the new Pope with merch of every kind. And as you said, you've got a little bit of a problem with it.
I do. And the other thing is I can kind of almost condone it to some standpoint because this is a historical event. So people want to have something that they feel is going to be of value in the future, commemorating this historical event, just like you would have stamps or coins or something like that.
The moon landing.
Right. Something like that. And you want to be able to pass it on and say, this is an artifact that really, from the time when this thing actually happened, and they are buying this merchandise with maybe an anticipation of it increasing in value. So I'm not hard-hearted about it, but for me, it just reeked as a little bit. It may be premature, it would be the word. Somebody had posted online about, well, if you go to the Vatican, you're going to have all kinds of merchandise.
St. Peter's Basilica, not that we've ever been there,
right?
But it probably, you exit into the gift shop.
Oh, I believe so. But I think even that is a little bit different than what this was.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to the Vatican, this is a souvenir of your trip. This is not like, trivializing the importance of these figures. This is like, I went to the Vatican, I saw his grave, I got a picture of it, I got a postcard, I have some holy water from Lourdes. But I think it's different when you are actively going over there for that purpose, to see this stuff. And then you want to bring back something with you. This was foisted upon people, right after the announcement. I think that's where I still have the little bit of disconnect.
Well, let's disconnect a little bit more.
Okay.
And we're going to show some photos here of some of the merch, just in case you're interested. We are not selling it. Maybe we should, actually. But no, we're not selling it. But here is some of the stuff that's out there, okay? Item number 1 is your Habemus Papam Leo XIV coffee mug. And of course, Habemus Papam means...
we have a pope.
That's what it is. Mm-hmm. It's not, we're eating Pop-Tarts.
No, it's not.
We have Pop-Tarts. Habemus Pop-Tarts. It's not it.
No.
Okay, also, here is your Pope Francis coffee mug here. And there's a lot of these. These aren't the only ones. You can get 100 different versions of the Leo, the 14th mug, the Francis mug, and of course, the good time Pope, Benedict the 16th. Mm-hmm. Nothing in the Roman Catholic Church said good times like Benedict the 16th.
He always looks so grouchy.
He does. He does.
I hate to say it, but he just looks so intense.
He's kind of like the American eagle in Pope's regalia. You know how American eagles, they always have that look on their face.
Yeah.
And that's, Ratzinger was like, just a good time. Good time, Benny. JP2. JP2.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's John Paul II.
John Paul II. He was in there a long time.
I think it was 26 years.
Yeah, long time. Long time. Probably longer than he should have been at the end. JP1, John Paul I, 33 days, the shortest pontificate ever. Mm-hmm. Guy died in his sleep, they say. And then there was Paul VI.
Right. This is not in the order, by the way. These are...
Well, they are up to Paul VI.
Okay.
Right? But if you really want to rock it old school, look at this. You can get your Clement the 7th.
I wonder why they picked that one.
Why would you say that? Why would you want that?
I don't know. Unless your name was Clement or something.
And of course, if you go all the way back to the beginning of the church, the very first pope was...
Peter.
And probably the best pope with a name like that. He was pope for 34 years, approximately.
He's the longest.
The longest pope.
Reigning pope, yeah.
And then, of course, if you just want to be generic, here is your coffee mug for the papal coat of arms.
Well, that's good. You're not playing favorites, at least. And, amongst these coffee mugs, there was one that I did take umbrage with. There was one of Leo XIV in his bishop regalia with a mitre and the vestments and everything. But they were made in American flag material. I
mean, I understand being proud because he is an American. Mm-hmm. We all are. But it really has no business being photoshopped into his regalia, into the mitre,
And to me, it made us Americans look bad.
which we're very good at doing on our own.
I mean, we don't need any help.
So those are just some of the many coffee mugs that are available to you the next time that you feel that you need to wet your whistle with a little tea or caffeine or hot cocoa. Then we have 3 T-shirts that we're going to show you. This first one is the shirt version of the coffee mug, the Habemus Papam T-shirt. Here is a Pope Francis T-shirt. And for those of you that really like popes in general, and by the way, on this show, if you like popes, give us a thumbs up right now. Go for the thumbs up if you like popes. You can get The Pope is Dope.
Does anybody even say that anymore?
Nobody I know.
No.
Nobody I ever knew.
No, but I mean,
People at one time, I guess, said, yeah, that's dope.
yeah.
But I don't know anybody who ever really said it.
Well, I mean, and if they do, I just don't think it's a current expression.
It's like, I don't know anybody that ever said groovy. Nobody ever said groovy that I do.
No, me neither.
And then we've got soap. Because nothing cleans up like Pope on a rope. Nothing cleans up like that. And so here we have your Pope soap bar.
Okay.
I wonder if it floats.
It must be.
Okay. And also, how about this? Ratzinger on a rope.
I cannot believe that people even think of this stuff. And, if you buy it just to have as a souvenir, again, it's one thing. But you're buying soap, which I expect that you would want to be using at some point. Why do you want to rub that all over your body? I'm sorry.
Why do you want to be rubbing the Pope under your armpits? Why?
It just doesn't make any sense to me.
No. There's something really disrespectful about that.
There is. There ought to be a law.
And of course, we have Pope bobblehead dolls.
Okay.
And here we have one for our new Pope, Leo the 14th, and one of Pope Francis.
Collect them all.
Yeah, collect them all. And we have some miscellaneous items here, too. Your Pope keychain. How about, while you're in there in the tub with your Ratzinger on a rope, how about a nice rubber ducky Pope?
Yeah.
Right?
And, some people are posting, if you go on cruises, there's a tradition, kind of a thing of hiding rubber ducks on the boat for people to find. And some people put, little messages on it or whatever. People are saying, I'm going to buy these and for my next cruise. So if we find one, we're going on a cruise in July. If we find one, we're going to show you it. Bring it back.
Maybe we'll find a Pope Leo the 14th ducky on our next cruise. Also, Pope socks.
Yeah. Now, are they as lucky as your pirate socks
Those
are?
Seton Hall pirate socks were not lucky at all.
No, not this year anyway.
They were not lucky at all. So I may switch to some Pope socks and see if we have a better season coming up.
Maybe.
These Seton Hall pirate socks just did not get it done this season. Also, we have Pope tree ornaments.
Okay.
For your Christmas tree. Okay, that's it's okay. Your Pope holy water fount.
Okay.
Fount or font?
Font.
Your Pope holy water thingy. And, of course, we have a poster here.
Oh, every dorm room needs a poster of the Pope.
But not just the Pope. This is a poster of all of the popes that ever were, all the way back to Peter.
Oh, now.
Peter and Linus and Lucy and
Clement
Charlie Brown. They're all on there. They're all on there. And finally, everybody will want that beloved red cap that will take America by storm that says, "Make Catholicism great again." There's another version of that cap that says, "Make America Catholic again."
Okay.
Which I have a little bit more of a problem with. Not that there's anything wrong with Catholics. Maureen and I are former Roman Catholics. It's just that I don't think that we should be professing any one religion to make America great.
Right. So what kind of merchandise do you want, Pete?
I don't want any of it.
No, I don't.
I don't want any of it. And we want you to comment below. Did you order any? And we're not gonna get salty with you. We just want to know, did you order any Pope merchandise, or would you order any Pope merchandise? Put it in the comments below.
Because I'm really curious, because I had my guttural reaction to it, but when I posted something online, I didn't get that much people saying, "Yeah, you're right."
Do you remember anything that people said to you?
Well, a couple of people said, "Well, then you wouldn't like Rome. If you went over there, you'd be inundated with the merchandise. You wouldn't like it."
One of those was a priest that we know.
And somebody else had said that they thought I was being too sensitive. So I'm just curious. Am I the one that's wacko, or are all of you wacko?
You
because
don't want to ask me a
me.
question like that. You just saw what happened here. My wife saying to me, "You don't think I'm wacko, do you?" So now, with all of the fun and kidding around aside, what are your thoughts about the new Pope? What's on your mind? What are you hoping that he can accomplish?
I hope that he doesn't undo the good that Francis started, and I certainly hope he upholds the Vatican II precedents of being more accepting, of being more open, of having vernacular masses, being, more service-oriented rather than clerical.
I don't think that there should be a word of Latin in the church.
I don't mind it, but I don't want it for me. If someone likes that and they want to, if a parish wants to offer one of those masses for the people who like that kind of thing, go for it. But I don't think all masses should have to be that way.
If I never heard another word of Latin in the church, I would be very happy. I don't like the communion rail. I think that the priest should always be facing the congregation, not with his back to us as it used to be back in the day. There are two things I think that Maureen and I would both love to see, and I know we're not going to see them. I don't think we're going to see them in 100 years. I don't think we may ever see them ever in the Roman Church. And that is the ordination of women.
Yeah. You see, this is why Pete and I have become what you would call independent Catholics. We are in the American National Catholic Church.
Maureen and I have done a series of shows, past episodes, that you can listen to or watch, talking about why, at the age of 59, each of us chose to leave the Roman Catholic Church.
For me, anyway, I can't speak for you, but the importance of still remaining Catholic was very important to me. And this is why now, when you're asking me about Pope Leo XIV and what my hopes and expectations are, it's really not all that relevant, because in the American National Catholic Church, as in many of the independent Catholic jurisdictions, we view the Pope as a holy figure, as an inspirational man, but not as the soothsayer boss of our church.
He ain't the boss of us.
You can't tell me what to do. So no matter what happens in the Roman Church with Leo XIV, it really has no direct impact on us, only maybe peripherally in perhaps the way people view Catholics in general. I do have some interest in his papacy and to see what kind of things he brings to it. But in my own life, it's really not going to matter one way or the other.
The other thing that Maureen and I would love the new Pope to consider, and he won't, is same-sex marriage in the church. Never going to happen. He's already expressed the opposition to the ordination of women. So those things are off the table on day one.
And I just hope he doesn't undo, like Francis at least allowed for there to be a blessing of the union of a same-sex couple.
Right.
And that was going pretty far for church standards. I mean, I would like to see them go all the way. If they can bless it, they ought to be able to perform it.
It delighted a lot of people. It upset a lot of people.
Perhaps Leo the 14th might reverse that. The scuttlebutt is that he's not happy with those kind of things. So, well, we'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah. But those are some of the things that we would like to see coming into the church. And only time will tell. I would say I don't expect, in this papacy, I don't expect a lot of big changes.
I hope they're not big changes for the going backwards.
Yeah. So, and of course, I saw a post the other day. Somebody wrote, "Liberal does not equal Catholic." Okay, that's fine. That's you do you. You do you. We want to thank you for joining us on this edition of the Sonic Boomers podcast. Again, if you like coffee mugs, give us a thumbs up. If you like popes, give us the thumbs up. And if you really like us, think about subscribing to this podcast.
We would love that.
We would love that. So until next time, I am Sonic Boomer Pete.
And I'm Sonic Boomer Maureen.
Goodbye. God bless you. And as always, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching the Sonic Boomers podcast.